Everybody run, run, run. Everybody scatter, scatter. Some people lost some bread. Someone nearly died. Someone just died. Police they come, Hammy they come. Confusion everywhere. 7 minutes later, all don't cool down, brother. Police don't go away. Army don't disappear. Them leave sorrow, tears and blood.
Them regular trademark.
Them leave sorrow, tears and blood.
Them regular trademark.
Them regular trademark.
Them regular trademark.
That is why everybody run, run, run. Everybody scatter, scatter. Someone nearly died. Some people lost some bread. Someone just died. Police they come, army they come. Confusion everywhere. 7 minutes later, all don't go down, brother. Police don't go away. Army don't disappear. Them leave sorrow, tears and blood.
Them regular trademark.
Them leave sorrow, tears and blood.
Them regular trademark.
Them regular trademark.
Them regular trademark.
La 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 la. My people say they fear too much. We fear for the thing we no see. We fear for the air around us. We fear to fight for freedom. We fear to fight for liberty. We fear to fight for justice. We fear to fight for happiness. We always get reason to fear. We no one die. We no one wound. We no one quench. We no one go. I get one child. I'm a different house. My party for house. I want build a house. I don't build a house. I no one quench. I want enjoy. I no one go. So policeman go slap your face. You know go talk. Army man go whip your yash. You go they look like donkey. Rhodesia, they do them own. Our leaders, they have for nothing. South Africa, they do them own. Them leave sorrow, tears and blood.
Them regular trademark.
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 Regular trademark.
Them regular trademark.
That is why everybody run, run, run. Everybody scatter, scatter. Some people lost some bread. Someone nearly died. Police they come, army they come. Confusion everywhere. And so time no they go. Time no wait for nobody. Like that. But police go they come, army go they come with confusion in style like this. Everybody run, run, run. Everybody scatter, scatter. Some people lost some bread. Someone nearly died. Someone just died. Police they come, army they come. Confusion everywhere. 7 minutes later, all don't cool down, brother. Police don't go away. Army don't disappear. Them leave sorrow, tears and blood.
Them regular trademark.
Them regular trademark.
Them regular trademark.
Them leave sorrow, tears and blood.
Them regular trademark.
That is why everybody run, run, run. Everybody scatter, scatter. Some people lost some bread. Someone nearly died.